Hi, my name is David Catalano, and we're going to be talking about our next topic, which is working out the healthy nature and prefrontal cortex. So, in our last couple topics, we've talked about the prefrontal cortex, but we've spent a lot of time talking about the human nature and what it means to think with our human nature. But now I'm going to be giving you some skills of how we can really focus on thinking with our healthy good nature. Right? Again, the healthy good nature is something that we need to learn outside of ourselves. So to start, we're going to talk about some coping skills. So the first one I want to talk about is anchoring. Anchoring is something that we use. It means that we use something outside of ourselves to help us anchor into healthy thinking processes and reality, right? For example, journaling, a quote book, reflection notes, purposeful thoughts. For me, my anchor is the Bible. We also have truth-based thinking versus lie-based thinking. So this is where you have truth-based thinking versus lie-based thinking, and it's something that you challenge in your brain. So you develop methods to challenge and battle unhealthy thinking processes within your mind. And you try to do that with truth and evidence, replacing those unhealthy thought processes with healthy logical thought processes, right? So I'll use an example. An unhealthy thought process of nobody cares about me. You can challenge that with a healthy way of thinking of I should help people who don't feel cared about around me feel loved. So you see, you reframe it and you change that unhealthy thought process and you challenge it with a healthy thought process. One way that I usually do when working with students or working with others is sometimes I'll have them write down their unhealthy thought processes, these unhealthy ways of thinking, and then I have the student challenge those thought processes with a healthier, truthful way of thinking, and then try to continue to focus on that healthier way of thinking. Another method is called the fact, faith, feeling method. And this method is where we look at a fact. It's kind of like anchoring, right? We look and anchor ourselves in a fact or truth, and then we have faith in that. And what faith means is it's just believing without seeing. It's continuing to put effort and action into something even though we don't see the results. Football players do that, right? Before they become great football players because they have faith in their ability to become a great football player, and they have faith in the program that they're putting themselves into. It's the same with our mental health. We need to focus on truth and healthy ways of thinking, and then we need to have faith and action in continuing to follow that. And then finally comes feeling, right? So if we base everything on truth, we put our action into it even though we can't see the results, the feelings will eventually follow. So again, that's anchoring, truth-based versus lie-based thinking, and fact, faith, feeling. And we are going to go over those a little bit more later in our topics. Now, next is another really important one, and that's healthy reflection, right? Healthy reflection is the skill of evaluating your life and understanding more about your weaknesses and faults. Again, I call it the healthy thinking process because sometimes it's not always positive. I don't like to call it the positive thinking process because sometimes healthy thinking requires for us to understand our faults and weaknesses as much as it may hurt, right? So an example, and I'll use this one for myself. I can be prideful sometimes, right? And so my pride can sometimes get in the way of me being able to connect and have healthy relationships with people. So I look at myself and say, hey, I need to learn and I need to change and be more humble. And so I use healthy reflection of understanding, hey, this is something that I struggle with. This is a weakness I know I have. It's something that I need to work on and changing. And it's a healthy thought process to understand that you have faults, weaknesses, or pain in your life that is being caused because you need to change in some area, right? Ways that we can do this are journaling, quote keeping, note taking, and the two that I love to use are praying and reading my Bible. Those are ways that I myself try to find ways to healthily reflect on changing my life. So we can use these methods to reflect on our life and understand ways we need to change and then put into practice, again, that faith. Okay, what are some processes I can put into practice to help me actually change? And my final topic for this video is empathetic focus, or other-centered. There's a saying. It says, "Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed." If we're able to focus on what others may need and serve others and have empathy with others and connect to others' needs, that can help us change our selfishness about ourselves and stop focusing about us, which makes us depressed sometimes, right? I'll use an example. If you're thinking, wow, nobody understands my pain and everything I'm going through, I do everything for everyone. Why doesn't anyone help me? Why doesn't anyone care about me? Well, if you keep putting the spotlight on yourself, you're going to have that self-defeating outlook. Again, that's the human nature. It's pleasure-seeking. It's focusing on yourself. But if you can focus on helping others and bringing joy to others and serving others, that can be a very powerful way to stop thinking about, wow, man, that person has so much less than me, and they really need my help. Or, you know what, man, this person feels the same pain that I feel. I'm not the only one. When we have others-centered or empathy, that can help us to have compassion on others and help us to be refreshed when we learn how to help others as well. So thank you so much for listening, and tune in next week.